Yo, what's up guys, Seiishizo here, and a different kind of video. This video is going to be talking about why I didn't make that many videos in the last few days. I was actually in Shanghai, China, invited by Etheria Restart to participate in the 2025 Global International Tournament, also known as the EWS. I did make it out there as influencer. This was my team over here on the left with James, me, and Gachasmack as our team captain. On the other side, we had Mr. Pokey, Limulu, and of course YDCB. Definitely a very familiar name, and I got some fun clips with that one later as well. As you can see, people were not really voting for our team, but let's see how we make it out on the tournament. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the tournament itself, the days towards the tournament, the people that I met, and just overall my trip to Shanghai, China, also meeting the developers and the people working on Etheria Restart itself. In general, I had absolutely a blast, and I highly want to thank Etheria Restart and therefore XD Company, the maker of Etheria Restart, for flying me out to Shanghai, China to join this event. Of course, the main part of this event was the 8 players that did make it out to that top 8, battling it out for the first prize of 15k, second prize 7k, and then third and fourth getting 4k. I did myself also participate to qualify for this. I was in the top 128, but I did not make it that far to make it to the top 8. Maybe next time, we'll see. Also, if you would like to see more Etheria content, first link in the description down below is my second channel where I do place all of the Etheria content. Also, if you would like to see the full stream of this tournament, second link in the description down below is going to be that full stream of that tournament, including all of the match from the influencer, but also the finals and the special match with a very familiar name from Summoners War, because they did invite Kaylee Bao to this event as well. So I did also have to hang out with Kaylee Bao for a bit. Great guy as well. So for me, going to Shanghai is definitely an interesting one, because I actually used to live in Shanghai for 4 years. I studied over there, did my master's degrees over there. I've been there quite a few times in the last few years still, but it's always nice to meet a bunch of friends and go there and just hang out. And there's always something crazy going on, like these kind of things. However, besides meeting a bunch of old friends, I definitely made a lot of new friends over here. Team on the left was the dream team over there. Let's see how we make it out later. We actually had a bunch of casters. Vulcan, definitely a familiar name within the Etheria Restart community as well. These two gentlemen over here, familiar from different kind of games as being casters and hosts. And then we have the team on the right with, of course, YDCB. Can't be missing out on these kind of events. Actually, a super great guy. Did get to hang out quite a bunch with him. And he's like one of those most chill guys out there. I'm definitely myself quite a tryhard in any of those games. And YDCB every time is like, stop tryharding. You're gonna win anyways. Calm down. Like, you're way too tryhard. You're more tryhard than the top 8 over here. So just all fun and games on that one. Got a great clip on that later as well. So yeah, I had to put on my big boy pants again. Well, actually, they gave me a shirt with 10XL. Like, hey, I'm a big boy, but I'm not 10XL big boy. Then again, it's Asia 10XL, so it's a little bit not that crazy. But this thing was like a freaking dress, man. But yeah, it was fun to be on stage again. Actually, been a few years since I've done this kind of stuff of actually being on stage rather than being a caster. But it felt good, man. It was fun. You also got the typical makeup and that kind of shenanigans. And just watching the other matches with the team. Also, I just once again had such a blast hanging around with everyone over there. Of course, they do the cosplayers. And in Asia, they just do the cosplayers, right, man? In general, cosplayers in Asia just look absolutely insane. But let's actually go into the tournament.
Now it is my pleasure to invite 2 teams of different KOLs to the stage to present to you a glorious show match. Starting off with Team Nikonana, Seiishizo.
Woohoo, that's me, that's me. Typical walk-in stuff, always funny, man. They had like a good venue, good show, good everything, man. They put it up real fast. That was insane. Yes, sir. This always feels so awkward to do, but still funny. Let's go. But you can see my shirt. Like, I'm a big dude, but that shirt was hella big, man. Holy shit.
Next up, we have Gachasmack.
Gachasmack is such a great guy. This dude is all energy. Also, he was walking so fast that the camera guy couldn't catch up. He's just like all energy.
And last but not least, we have James.
Jason was the third one in our team. We didn't get to speak that much with him. He's from Thailand, didn't speak that well of English, but the conversation that I have with him, very nice and chill guy as well.
Thank you for joining me on stage, gentlemen. Before I send you to your seats, I just wanted to ask each of you a quick word, and I'll introduce your opponents. Starting with you, Seiishizo, are you particularly fast?
Maybe not in real life, but in game, you never know.
That's good to hear. Smack.
So,
I knew you used to be.
So that was also the main thing. My game was speed, so you will see how fast my matches went. That's gotta come later.
But are you strong by any chance?
Bam! You know what I'm saying, brother? Got a little gun show, man. Y'all want to get some tickets? Come on up here.
So I can explain how the rules went myself, but we also have great casters that explain it way better than I do.
Into speed. That is where we're at right now. Obviously, each team has 3 matches to play on each category. Each time they get a win, they get a point. But obviously, there are the mini games for speed, power, and strategy, which are going to help them along the way. A little bit alluded to on the stage just there. It was a chess clock. After you've taken your turn, you hit the button. And that makes sure that the time goes down. This is the overall match rules. Like I just said, we've got 3 players on each team. You're going to win a point. The team with the most points at the end of the full 9-game series gets the win. Minigame, obviously, as we said, each of them are individual. Speed.
Plus, there's 2 more points to take, and that is for the 2 team captors, Gotcha Smack and Mr. Poke, for the power one. So in total, there's 11 points up to grab.
Mini game, we're going to get the chess clock match.
And then just leave the chess clock and accept.
If you win. Speed. After each move, the player is going to press the button on the chess clock.
So this was the chess clock for speed. That's the rule that I had to work with during my matches.
The next game, if you win.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones. It's like you don't want to rush your picks though. The Shizo,
the time in
probably the most competitive.
A very good player. Shizo.
Think out your picks, and then just leave the chess clock and accept an extra ban. We're gonna have to see. Hopefully, we see some mistakes come out and the real stress of the chess clock coming out.
I will say, Seiishizo is, he was almost this close to getting here as a competitor. So even though he's come as an influencer, he is a very good player in his own right. And obviously, I think Lemulu is a great player as well. So this is a pretty good matchup between these two.
And I would say Seiishizo is probably the most competitive person out of everyone at this event. He is locked right in. A little bit salty on Shiny, who I think it was, who knocked him out of qualification for
yeah, good old Shiny kicked me out, as always.
Definitely a powerful
But I love Shiny. He's a guilty of mine.
I think he definitely comes in with his head locked in. He's got a very good account. I've seen his account. He's put a lot of time into it as well. Also, he has got a lot of experience. We saw Kilimbao coming from Summoners War doing really well. I mean, there's a big history for...
On a side topic about him, he did spend a lot of time in Shanghai, so he has been showing us the sights around the place.
Chess match style games with the pick and ban strategy with how you kind of play them out.
Also, just on a side topic about him, he did spend a lot of time in Shanghai, so he has been showing us the sights around the place also in the first few days, which we really do appreciate on that one. But definitely, I think he's just absolutely...
Yeah, that was also very fun for me because actually I took out most of the guys like Volkim, Gotcha Smack, Mr. Poke. At some point we had a few moments off and it's like, I'll just bring you guys downtown, show you around like the anime shops and like all of that kind of good stuff. They got a lot of stuff over there. They bought way more than I did.
He's been locked in since the moment he got here. Talking everything about the game, hasn't been able to stop. He is ready for this one.
Yeah, he's really loving it, and I think he's been coaching me on how to sort of get through certain parts of the game, help him fix my accounts. So yeah, big ups to Seiishizo. We appreciate it. Now going into this, how do you think they're going to approach it? What type of players do you think these guys are? Like, I'd love to know what you think in terms of what their PvP strategy is going to be.
I honestly have no idea at all, so we're just going to have to jump into it and see. But Lemulu, I do want to give him here and picking up the stand.
Bans
are not going to be
in this version. You get your ban by winning the minigame.
Yeah, and when the bans come through, because it's a, you know, we're doing all these mini games, it is just going to be.
Okay, let's get into the matches. So in this case, I'm actually going to be muting the cast and casting myself a bit to give a little bit more of understanding what I was doing over here. During this time, we don't have the clock just locked in yet. So this time we can actually take our time to put the picks and that kind of stuff in there. Personally, I would have loved to see the clock during the pick and bans as well. Because pick and bans, if you speed that process up, that's where you make most mistakes. Like in-game, sure, targeting something earlier than something else is not that big a mistake, but definitely something that could be a little bit of a mess up. But in picks and bans, locking your pick and ban fast, that's where you can mess up really bad, and that's where the clock really starts ticking. So in my case, did went for the Lily. We don't have a pre-ban in here. We don't have a ban protected over here. Therefore, the slot 3 is not a ban protected, but it does actually mean the moment that I win on the clock or the enemy wins on the clock, that's where you get a ban, and that's just like a verbal ban towards the referees. and going in for that. Also, I was already playing this like a speed kind of game, was just looking at everything fast. I do see one speed unit on the top, the top over here, Doki Doki, the general fast unit, but my Lily, general fast unit as well. And you can see a Revelation on the Freya and Revelation on the Heinrich. These two Revelations can perform a lot of damage. It's kind of like additional damage artifacts from the game we're used to, but then a lot more stronger, because every time you crit and you have a high enough attack, you do actually take 12% of the enemy's HP for every hit, every multi-hit, every AoE. Freya is a 4 times AoE hitter, so that's just insanely high for a lot of damage. You will see the units on the enemy side just disappear. We also do have a Hoyan over here. Great counter to all of that, but it's definitely something that I can ban on later on. I do also have my Oboe in here. Was in this case actually geared up as my fastest unit, but we're gonna add in another Messiah for a lot of damage. So in my case, definitely going in for all of these drafts pretty fast. Also removing the Hoyan over here. Messiah is the hard counter to Hoyan, but I did expect the Messiah to also leave the battlefield, because that's just a dangerous unit for him to keep in there. Does actually remove that as well, and let's juke it out. So in this case, I definitely am checking. It's like, okay, is this Doki Doki going to be faster than me? I don't think so, because the shell that he's using, like the little pet that you see flying on the top, is definitely one of those pets that don't have all of these speed potentials in there. We do have the clock on the bottom left, so the moment that I push my first skill, I can set the clock. The only slightly strange thing is, the moment that you normally put the clock on a chess kind of game, that is where I actually should have hit the clock there already. On a chess game, you have one turn and then the other turn pretty much goes, and it goes back and forth. But in a game like this, I could take 7, 8 turns in a row. So his clock is just simply ticking. I'm doing an insane amount of damage. I kill his whole team in pretty much 2 hits. Like, that's just Heinrich Revelation. And that is that Revelation. And I was like, the clock. Let's just go for the clock. Let's wait. Let's waste the clock, because I still have all the turns. He didn't take a single turn yet. But yeah, that's just some proper preparation right there in the team. Also to mention, I was the only player of all of the influencers that was playing on his own account. They wanted to let us play on like a different kind of account, and I was the only one saying like straight up like, no man, I grinded the living shit out of my account to actually get these kind of victories in there. Ain't no way that I'm playing on someone else's account. I just want to play my own stuff. I want to do my own thing. I had a good preparation on all of those units. I knew what I was doing, and that just worked out very well. So that's why you saw a pretty quick victory right there. And then they had to check, like, who had the highest score on the clock? Well, yeah, of course, that was me, because I had the only turns. But let's move on to the next one. Who has more time over here? Who would that be?
What's happened is you have 20 seconds and you have 19 seconds, which means that you have the upper hand here.
So because of that, I also was allowed to do an extra ban. So I already had the advantage, but I get an extra advantage.
Let's go for Rin and then the Fire Rin.
So second time around, you actually run back the same draft for the first few units. So I'm like, yeah, if you're running back the same, I'm running back the same. So a little bit fast forward. Does go for an earlier Hoyan in this case. Hoyan would normally be good because it's in the locked-in slot where it would be a ban protected. But since we didn't have a pre-ban, you also don't have a protected ban. Therefore, the Hoyan on that side over there doesn't change anything. I do also have the count already with that Messiah over there, but I do expect the Messiah once again to be leaving the battlefield. I did in this case also add in a Yelly, which is also a very high damage unit. So just to add more damage to the table, going back once again to that Heinrich, I pretty much have 4 damage dealers on this field, plus a Lily, which is just an attack bar booster. It's like cooldown decreaser, increaser. It has like all of that kind of good stuff, speed buffs, whatnot. Super strong unit. But then it's just, once again, he has a full-on bruiser team. I have a full-on like straight up DPS in your face. We're going to do a lot of damage. Once again, bans are going to be the same thing. Hoyan being banned, which is a great counter into a cleave team. On my side, once again, the Messiah, which ignores the passive Hoyan, so she doesn't have a chance to come back with a massive damage. So let's see what we have this time around in this match. He does have a fair bit more of immunity, so he has the bulwark set over there. But I just simply have an insane amount of damage. So let's just see, once again, boosting up that Heinrich. Could have went for a boost on the Yelly, but I first want to strip everything. With that strip, pretty much everything is already nearly dead. We have the Freya moving up next, 4 times multi-hits, 12% damage per hit. If you have enough of the stats, I did have enough stats, and everything is kind of that over there. There's one thing, however, which I did forget, which was the clock. I completely forgot about the clock altogether. I still took only turns. So yeah, I completely forgot about the clock there. It's like, oops, my bad. So yeah, that kind of was steamrolling over there.
That was very fast. You've got one more game. You think it's going to be the same speed?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. But yeah, that's what's gonna happen. But I want to give my ban to the opponent to ban something on my side, just to be fair. Why not?
I mean, okay. Well,
So I was just like, it's a show match in the end. So it was like, it was a show match in the end. So I was like, okay, let's just give the ban to the opponent just to make things a little bit more interesting. Sure, I still want to take my W, but I do also not want to go for a repeat of 3 times of just adding more and more bans and getting more and more of an advantage when the matches were already that much of a stomp. And I also kind of wanted to give him a show of like, yo, you show as well what you can do.
why not? So, Limilu, you're going to get this ban, apparently. What's the ban going into this match? Lily? All right. You can't
Okay,
pick
so he
Lily.
removed my
Best
Lily,
luck
which is
in the
my
last
main
game,
first
gentlemen.
pick that I was picking. Actually, at unit, I think he had as well, so he could have went for a steal in that kind of sense. So this time around, without the Lily on the field, can I still rock a similar kind of draft? He's still going for the Doki Doki first. I'm just going once again for my damage dealer first. I was like, I'm sitting at a 2-0 victory already. It does mean like getting 3 points for the team is better than not taking or like losing 1 point in the first place, because it's about the total amount of points for the whole team. Therefore, it's also not a best of 5. It's just 3 matches straight up, and whoever wins, and those teams will be added to the team total. So currently, our team is sitting at a 2-0 victory. This time around, I give myself a little bit more of a handicap just to see how it goes from there. And he's definitely rocking up a good amount of more bruiser units that can probably survive more hits. So looking more towards the end of the draft, he actually has a very good lineup. This unit has a cheat death the moment I kill something, so very good against my snipe team. As you can see right now, I just have like 5 units, or actually 4 units full on damage. 1 unit is more of like a CC kind of type of unit. I do remove the Doki over here. I think I should have went for something else, because I removed the Doki because I was slightly scared I would not outspeed, which I did do before with having the Lily. But in this case, I think I maybe should have removed one of the other units, but in the end, I think it's kind of fine. But we had more of an interesting match going on over here, because I did not have my speed boost, I did not have my setup as much as I did in the previous match. I think in his case, I think he should have actually banned the Freya, because with the Freya, I just simply take less turns. But in this case, he definitely has more of a chance to take his turns as well. However, I do like something in this game a lot, and that is adding in Bulwark. And you can see over here, right here, well, this is his point of view, but you can see over here, there's Bulwark over there, and there's Bulwark over there. It's common for a count, which is the shell that's next to the Messiah, to have the Bulwark, but it's not very common for Yelly, which has the Revelation, to have a Messiah. Or not to have a Messiah, to have a Bulwark in there. So once again, we're doing a lot of damage, but this time around, I do get cut, and he does have a chance to go for healing. And because of that healing, he also has immunity in there. So with that immunity, he actually does have a bit of a chance once again. But my Yelly still moves after this. It would have been better if my Yelly moved slightly slower, because then I could have actually hit proper on the Lilith. And we can go for 1 hit. Normally there's more follow-ups on this. Actually, not that much follow-ups at all. So couldn't manage to get a kill. The Lilith is a unit that places bombs on the whole team and explodes the bomb on 1 unit. In this case, it would be the best if it would have went for the Messiah, but the Messiah still has that immunity. And because of that immunity, I was already smiling and sitting over there like, yeah, you're trying to do that on the Messiah, but hey, my brother, that ain't gonna work. That's just simply one of those that you can't do. So he's definitely taking his time over here. The clock's still ticking. Actually, for this one on the clock, it is slightly different. I actually told him, it's like, you forgot the clock. So he's just smiling and that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's just a fun match and that kind of stuff. But in this case, the clock doesn't count towards the next ban. It counts towards the next ban for your other teammate. So the next teammate will actually have a ban advantage that way. So I was still like, okay, if I focus on the clock over here, I do get that advantage right there too. So he did stun the Obel, which I'm not sure if that was the right choice. I do still have the Messiah going in over here. It did have attack buff, but it was a lot less damage than was expected. Cheat Death was over there. I nearly killed the Lilith as well, but didn't full kill it. Rahul also still surviving, so I'm like, okay, that's kind of dangerous, because the Cleave team, with all of those units, the moment that you use all of your cooldowns, your skills are not going to be as strong. It takes a very long time for you to actually just get back to your skills and get back to anything. And therefore, I'm going to speed up this fight a little bit, because this fight is definitely a little bit longer. Because from here, it's just kind of like, okay, how far do we bruiser it out? How far does it actually go for? So the Rahul, great bruiser unit over there. Insane amount of damage. I was like, ooh, that looks very dangerous. I still had the Yelly going in there, but the Yelly was sitting on a one-turn bomb. So the moment the bomb goes off, I still do die. Messiah takes a unit out. Not enough follow-ups to actually kill that Rahul. So that Rahul will definitely take out my unit right here. And in this case, I still have the invisibility. It's hard to see, but this buff over here is 2 turns invisibility. I have to work against things with very high HP and, well, very high shields mainly, with just the Messiah on the field. So at this point, I'm like, did I actually give away my victory by giving him the ban and that kind of stuff? So in this case, I'm just using the 3rd skill just to get the invisibility back. He's trying to get skills in, do damage, but it's not enough. In this case, I also don't deal enough damage because of that shield on the Rahul. He's doing a fair bit amount of damage, but I actually do take it out. And the passive of Messiah is, any unit you take out, you get the invisibility. So in this case, I'm just also once again stacking up the invisibility. Maybe I should have actually waited one more turn. I should have actually waited one more turn, do the invisibility in this turn rather than the previous turn. But yeah, now we're just playing a healer / survivor against the Messiah. So this match actually went on pretty long. Does have the cheat death again, does have the lighthouse, which does heal again, does have an invisibility of himself again because of that skill, does have a little bit of healing. Actually, the skill 1 is a potential sleep, so that's very dangerous. Lighthouse once again going for the proc. It's just insane amount. So in this case, I do get the count proc and I do get the 3rd skill in, and that actually gives the victory, which does make it that I take a 3-0 for our team. So also for the clock, did win on the clock, and therefore my next teammate will have an advantage in the ban as well.
Managed to get 2 bans for yourself, one which you gave over to Limelu, and you've also secured the 3rd ban for your team going into the first strength match. That was quite a fast and dominant victory.
Well, definitely there, but the last match was just fun, and that's what we're here for, right? So that's why we do that stuff.
It definitely was a really close last match. I mean, did you have fun with that? Did the Lily ban help you out getting to that 3rd game at least?
My main objective was to take 1 round, not this time, but maybe the next time.
Hopefully next time. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for that first match. Please, everyone, give them a round of applause again. You may take your seats.
So then my teammates had to play as well. I will just showcase pretty much the results of that rather than showing the whole match, because that would be a little bit lengthy for this video. But if you want to see all of that, link in the description to the whole stream is still there. Actually, Mr. Pokey was earlier than Gachasmack on this one, which does mean that the 2 extra points went to Mr. Pokey rather than to Gachasmack. So therefore, Mr. Pokey is up 2 points, but he already got 4 points right now. So I got 3 points in the first round, but the enemy team is sitting on 4 points right now. We're sitting on just the 3 points that I got. So Gachasmack definitely has to catch up 1 more point to actually get on this match right now. Gachasmack actually took a 0-5 loss against Mr. Poke. So we had to have Jamesmer taking back the victory because there was still 3 more points up for grabs. We had 3 points already. We're 5 down, so we could still make it 6-5, but Jamesmer has to be winning everything. And that is where YDCB took his 2nd victory. So in the end, the score is 4-7. I took 3 out of those 4 points, so all you can say is like it's all. Whoever won the show match was allowed to do the spinning wheel, and whatever landed on the spinning wheel, all 3 team members were allowed to do spin on the spinning wheel. Whatever was landed on the spinning wheel, all of the players in the entire game would get. So I already told YDCB, because we were asked to pull in the own way that we played the game. So we pulled for speed, we pulled for power, and pulled for strategy. I told YDCB already, if you pull for strategy, you just put it on the temple. Like, I don't care. That is strategy, just putting it on the right thing, right? So I just told him, was like, if you have the chance, just put that thing towards the 10. I don't care. If I would have won, I would have done that. If he would have won, he would have done that. So let's see how that works out.
You get 1 spin, and I'd like to invite back to the stage Game Director Jack to join us, who'll get 1 more spin to join all of you. Please welcome Game Director Jack.
Best part is they also added in Game Director Jack. So straight up in his face, he's gonna pull that thing to the 10, and you will see how that looks like in a second.
Pokey, please spin the wheel.
So we have the first spin. We're aiming for the 10 pull, of course. Let's see what we get.
And we have...
Okay, no 10 pull. Look at his hand, look at his hand. Look at it.
200 Hydro Crystal. Wait. Hey!
He's like, oh, how good.
10 animal prototypes!
He's right next to the director, and he's like,
how did that happen?
What?
Okay, we'll let
this was absolutely insane. In the end, we did actually get that temple. We did get that. So then we have another one over there. Goes for the spin. Definitely a little bit less power to it, but look. That is 20
A
pulls
total
already
of
for every
20
player in the
anima
game.
prototypes so
That is
far.
absolutely insane. That's like 1/4 of a
YDCB,
pity
you
on
said
like
you're
any
lucky.
banner.
Come on,
That's
prove it to
absolutely
us.
insane right there. Then YDCB has the pull. So of course he goes for the 10 pull as well, or like that's the best thing on the board. He gives it a very low spin, but actually lands on the 1. YDCB, the one and
Apex
only
prototype,
Gamba man.
That's not bad.
The biggest Gamba man out there
Maybe
just lands on the 1
spin
pull.
the
Well,
wheel
it's an
for us.
LD 1 pull, but then again, you can pull like LDs with just the normal as well. We give a little bit of a spin and another 5. So
Is that
it's
5?
like okay,
And
is the
5
1
for
is the
anima
5?
prototype,
No,
so a
Jack
total
actually
of
does go for the 5.
25
So that
anima
does
prototypes
actually
and
mean,
1
including the
Apex
code
prototype.
that was already given earlier, we got 36 pulls, including 1 LD, so 35 normal pulls and 1 LD pull from this whole event. That's very generous, and it was very nice as well. Of course, had to take a picture with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. YDCB. And he was like, picture, let's take a video. He wanted to smack talk me. Leslie heard this one.
You didn't get to spin the wheel. I feel so bad for you, man.
Wait, what was your spin? Well, your spin was a 1. Your spin was a 1.
I feel so bad for losing team, man.
This is the Gamba guy spinning a 1. 1 pull. That is 1 pull. Love you, man. Love you.
Absolutely had a blast with all of those people. So once again, afterwards, always it's picture time, taking a lot of pictures with all of the players out there, casters, Vulcan out there. Familiar face from casting in general, has been casting many games for like the last 10 years. Also had a flight with him back home. And he was like, wait, actually the business upgrade is super cheap. Let's just do that. So I ended up in style on business. Your boy was flying business on that one. Yeah, I had to pay myself the upgrade, but it was relatively very cheap. So I flew myself back to Amsterdam on business class. Once again, I highly want to thank Etheria Restart for flying me over to Shanghai, China. I had absolutely a blast meeting a whole bunch of new people, seeing this game actually do very well. Once again, if you want to see more Etheria Restart content, check out the first link in the description. I did have a chance to sit down with Jack, the developer, as well. We did have a bit of a talk. It was off the record, so they're definitely more free to talk a bit about interesting things over here. But that video will be on the second channel of me explaining what was heard over there and what is the future for Etheria Restart that I do see, and I highly recommend you to check that out as well. Guys, thanks a lot for watching for this one. I highly appreciate y'all watching these, and see you as always in the next one.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.